Welcome back to Delivering More, folks. Thank you for joining us morning, afternoon, or evening. As always, if you could help us out, hit that subscribe button down below. That's going to help us out more than you could ever know. I have another great tandem of guests with me back in the building. I have Aaron Hoffman, co-founder.
Let's go.
That.
I'm really excited for this one, man.
Yeah, this is really going to be a good one. I'm very excited to introduce this guy. We have Nabeel, CPO, CEO, and co-founder, Forbes 30 Under 30, Lunchbox. Nabeel, how are we doing today?
We're doing amazing. That was great. That's good energy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, hey, we're ready to bring it.
Yeah, only good vibes here. Deliver that, all right? Only good vibes.
I love that.
Yeah, we're ready to bring it, man. I like the aesthetic you got. Are you in a home office or where are you at right now?
I'm in home office. I just moved, so it's still messy, but yeah, I'm at the home office.
Hell yeah, the Kobe Bryant in the background. That's big time. The Mamba mentality. Gotta love that.
Yeah, it's signed 2, right into 2, the number 2.
Oh,
yeah.
I have a tattoo. One night I got drunk with a customer that says Brown Mamba on my arm because I'm brown and Kobe obviously is black. If you guys didn't know, now you know. And then my dog's name is Mamba. Her name is Mambasita, right? So I'm a big Kobe fan.
What kind of dog?
It's a mini husky, Alaskan Klee.
Hell yeah,
Nice, man.
hell yeah.
We're big dog,
I have a Malamute. What kind of dog's Murphy?
Cavalier, like a King Charles. He's a small guy.
Oh, nice.
Cool. All right, man. Well, we're gonna kick this off. We got a segment. We want to do a little icebreaker called This or That. We're just gonna run through some quick either A or B options. You pick one or the other. Maybe a little reason behind why, and we'll prod as needed. All right.
Sure.
All right. So starting out, this or that, early mornings or late nights.
Both.
Both. What we got a preference? We're waking up early and we're staying out late.
One of our 10 core values at Lunchbox is show up early, stay late. That's literally who I am, what the company tries to embody. We're also early stage startup. If we do everything right, we will still fucking fail. So why would we not try to do everything right? So one of them is show up early, stay late. So I show up even earlier and stay even later.
Hell yeah.
Things you can control. All right, I got another one for you. This or that. Would you rather be hot or cold?
Hot or cold? What does that mean? Can you explain?
Like temperature? Do you like Arizona climate or do you like Cleveland, Ohio, for example, where it's not warm here?
I grew up in the Middle East. I like hot, but I also like seasonal changes. But if I had to pick one, hot.
Hot. Awesome. Nice. Would you rather be like cold, like you can put on more layers, or would you rather be out in the sun where you can like sweat it out a little bit and just control your own body temperature?
The latter. I rather it's hot, humid, nasty in New York, and I just wish I was not here.
Perfect.
I rather pick that. That's every summer here in New York.
All right, so I think we already gave the answer to this one, but we're gonna ask it anyway. Dogs or cats? This
is a dog company. All right, the other 2 co-founders have cats, but I am a dictator. I rule, solo. They have cats because they're weirdos, but this is a dog company.
Good, man. Yeah.
I think
people are kind of.
Yeah. I think Deliver that's the same. We have I think Puppies Day is this Thursday. We got a post going out featuring all the Deliver That dogs, so that's gonna be big time.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Also, I'm not a dog person as well. FYI, I'm an immigrant. We don't like dogs or pets at home. All right, they are supposed to be in the yard, but I like my dogs. So I've grown to like my dogs only. So I just want to clarify. And I'm sorry for everyone for there to be disclaimer on. I'm a complicated guy.
Yeah, hey, we're not black and white here. We're in the gray area. We find the middle ground.
Cool. All right. I think I know the answer to this one too, because some of your posts I've seen that you are a Tarantino fan. But would you rather read a book or watch a movie?
Watch a movie. I love it. I love movies. If I don't get 30 minutes of TV time every night, I'm not going to bed. It's not happening. It's just not happening. Like the only way to go to bed is 30-minute block in between. And that's how I do it. But we need some TV. I'm watching Modern Family right now. It's nice. It's lighthearted. You don't have to think.
Phil Dunphy is legitimately one of the best TV characters ever.
I love the dad.
Jay Pritchett.
Yeah, I love the grandpa.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
me. I want to be a grumpy old man. That's my vibe.
Closet. It could be lunchbox.
So good. Music to my ear.
What about a favorite movie of all time? You got one you could throw out there?
Favorite movie of all time is Scarface. That is my blueprint for when I first came to this country, minus the killing and selling of drugs. It's a fantastic movie for immigrants, and it's a hopeful movie if you don't watch the last 15 minutes, and a fantastic one at that.
Hell yeah, yeah. That's up there on my list for sure. We'll close it out here real quick. Last one: cooking at home or going out to eat?
Going out to eat, I don't cook. I eat out 4 meals a day, 3 meals a day, all the time. So I'm one of our customers. I love delivery, and I don't know how to cook. My partner doesn't know either. She didn't tell me this when we first met, but I let it slide.
Yeah, it's all right, man. That could be like a blessing and a curse, Because Tori, she makes food. She's like, I could gain 100 pounds really quick, no
Yeah,
question.
yeah. You can have it both ways for sure. All right. Well, that was this or that. I appreciate you going through that. That get a little understanding of each other off the bat. So that's nice. I like that.
Let me ask you guys one.
Sure, go
All
ahead.
right. Let me ask one. I want to get to know you guys a little bit. So let me ask one for you guys. Would you guys rather, and hear me out, okay? Just hear me out. If you had to pick, do you guys have siblings? Do you guys have 2 siblings each?
Yeah.
I've one, but we can go ahead. I can act like I have a second.
Let's do it. Would you, if you had to save one person, gun to your head, save your sibling or your parent, which one would it be?
My answer out of the gate, I would say my sibling, simply because she has a longer life ahead of her, I think.
Very logical answer. That's what I would have said. What about you, sir?
I think I'd have to I'm going to take the noble way out and just say, I plead the fifth here. But no, man, that's a tough one. Probably my sibling. Probably sibling. Just to get longer life,
I hope your parents are proud of you guys for just completely throwing them under the bus.
Hey,
I would have said,
my parents will watch
hey,
this.
I would
They'll
not.
see
I
it.
would have said I would never answer a question like that. What are you talking about? Let's get on with this podcast. But here we are.
Hey, I'm gonna answer whatever questions you got. I'm willing to answer.
He baited us, man.
Put my hands to the fire. I'm gonna give you an answer.
I love it.
Awesome. Well, we obviously can get now to kind of the scope of the interview, and I do want to kind of delve into your background a little bit more. You mentioned early on here that you are an immigrant to the United States and America. The basis of what I could find was some posts around, you mentioned around the age of 15. Where's your family from, and when did you guys make your way over here?
We're from Bangladesh. Bangladesh is right next to India, very much like Indians. Language is similar, food is similar, people look similar. So we are right next to India. Grew up in Bangladesh, and then at seven, I went to Kuwait and grew up there. A lot of people from Southeast Asia and Philippines and other countries work as a working class. There's a working class in Middle East. There is the ruling class, the citizens, and then the working class, like lower paid jobs. So we lived there for 7 years, and then came here when I was 15. Learn English watching mafia movies. So that's a strong connection to movies and all things Tarantino, Brian De Palma, and violence. And then started my career in restaurant industry after that. So that's my journey here. But I grew up in Bangladesh and Kuwait.
And then obviously the immigrant kind of background, you post pretty frequently on LinkedIn and things like that, kind of mentioning your upbringing and things like that. I think I saw a post pretty recently about how your mom still dries her dishes like out on the porch in the sun, things like that. Just kind of absurd things that you still kind of bring with you as you grow up. Do you feel like having the mindset being from an immigrated country, do you feel like you've carried that mindset over with you, and has that influenced your upbringing at all? You feel like you work harder, like you said, early mornings, late nights? Do you feel like you've had to maybe prove yourself a little bit more along the way?
Yeah, I am. I'm definitely. It's completely in my DNA. And like we have core values that says we're on offense all the time. We have core values that says go above and beyond, right? And none of these are immigrant. To be honest, but they're my values that I picked up from the people I grew up watching in my life, right? So I try to bring them to work, and one of the most important thing in designing an early stage company is you have to be completely yourself, and every time you deter from that, you are going to struggle. And the last thing I'll say is the reason I share some of those immigrant stories is because I was embarrassed to be an immigrant. Like all immigrants, we first come here and we're embarrassed to be an immigrant. We're outsiders. We want to fit in. We don't look quite the right way. We are not dressing quite the right way. And first thing you want to do is reject where you came from, right? And that's like all immigrants. I did the same thing. I was embarrassed from where I came from. And then you know, hopefully lucky enough to say I'm actually adopting it because there's beauty in all of it. So I've learned to go ahead and adopt it and cherish it and tell those stories. So that's a new part of the journey that I would say I have touched on over the last 4 or 5 years. But ask me when I was 18, you know, I would do everything to hide the fact that I was an immigrant.
Yeah, kind of finding your actual footing and accepting yourself. I think that's not necessarily only an immigrant story though too. I think that happens for a lot of teenagers growing up. You kind of lose yourself and do things to make friends instead of like understanding your own self. So I think a lot of people can relate to that.
I want to take this next one for
Yeah,
you. Now,
go
okay?
right ahead.
So you went to Syracuse for a semester, a year, 2 years?
2 years.
For a little bit.
A little bit.
Little
See,
bit.
I'm
See,
not.
I'm not-
I
so
don't remember.
I went to Ohio University, and I am not a school. Like I am not book smart. But I work hard, very, very, very hard. So I feel like you and I share that same conviction. Like, hey, we didn't need school to make this thing work, right? You know, it's the hard work, it's your principles, and more. You know, it's your work ethic. So can you talk about like why did it make sense for you to not, you know, go through it? At Syracuse. Like, why did you decide to basically start a company, like instead of?
Well, it's romantic looking back, and it's like makes sense looking back, and there's a pattern or a line, straight line to today looking back. But back then it was just very scary. You know, you don't drop out when you are the oldest son of an immigrant family, and the oldest son of an immigrant family takes care of the family. You know, pays the bills, retires the parents, takes care of the siblings. So when you have that many debt, if you will, when you start that behind, it's hard to want to drop out. But I really wanted to not be a doctor. I was studying pre-med, so I did not want to do that. And as you get to know yourself, and as you find your voice, and your voice is tiny, and for all young people, it's a small voice, and you build it. You build confidence, and you slowly go ahead and say, wait, I this is how I feel. And I think when that happened, I realized like I need to just I don't know what I'm going to do, but I know I can't do this. So I dropped out, and I just started working at a restaurant group. Like I was at Bareburger, a restaurant group here in New York. I was a busboy there for a year or 2 or 3, and then I just called them and they said, we don't have anything for you, maybe internship. So I was sitting at a ping pong table, working from a ping pong table at their office, and that became the journey to becoming their chief marketing officer. And that journey was over 10 years. So it looks great looking backwards, but back then I was like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm such a dumbass. But now looking back, it's like I was saying a lot of things to myself that was logical and was intuitively right. I just couldn't formulate it into a set of advice I could give myself, right? So that was my experience. It was very scary back then. Fantastic looking backwards.
Do you credit like that paradigm shift in your mentality for what Lunchbox is today? Of like, was that like the tipping point for you?
I think so. I don't think I could have ever. I did not want to start a tech company or be a tech CEO. I did not think. It's not like I grew up super ambitious. It's not like, like up until 17, I said I can even do anything. Like those are all net new things that happen. So even when I was at Bareburger and I was working my way through the corporate ladder and eventually became C-suite, I thought that was the ceiling, right? But again, as your voice starts to grow, as you see enough problems and you want to solve them, you're like, I can solve this, right? When that happens, I think that's how this company was born. This company was born like, oh, we see these problems, we want to solve it. We're not. And we've looked at them over a decade. At one point, I said, I think I can solve them, right? So I think we wouldn't be here without that experience, that very long experience.
Yeah, that kind of leads right into our next topic base, which was, as far as I could tell, you actually started with Bareburger redesigning their menu, I believe. Euripides had reached out to you through like an email chain, which is a crazy catalyst and a genesis story to start with a company, and then, like you said, work your way up to CMO, which is just unbelievable. I think we've talked to a ton of people like this. The restaurant business is still one of, I would say, the only business still around that you can work for your way up from boots on the ground to really like a C-suite position within a company or
Yeah.
becoming a founder, a CEO.
We had Jeff Alexander on a couple weeks back, and his similar story. You know, he starts as a bartender or restaurant manager, and now he's, you know, head of Wow Bao. So it's like just that's another.
I love
example.
Jeff.
Yeah,
He's
great guy.
I ran into him like a couple of weeks ago in the city. He's awesome. He's an awesome guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah, based out of Chicago. Love him. But
great dinners.
yeah, the steak dinners, they'll get you. I did. You kind of mentioned there while you were closing out your Bareburger, story. The problems you noticed or started to realize as your time with Bareburger developed. When did you actually start to think of developing this idea that turns into Lunchbox, and what were the early problems that you saw that you believed you could present solutions to?
We had 3 problems we noticed. Number 1 was we were losing money to Grubhub, a lot of money, millions of dollars a year. Number 2, what is out there was good, but they didn't worry about what happens after you set them up, which means like, okay, I have online ordering, but how do I make more money on it? And the problem number 3 is if we put together a great stack, that stack is complicated, it has too many components and too expensive for at the time, like, 40 unit chain. So those are the 3 problems we noticed. The third one being the most important, which is we wanted to consolidate the space in ordering and marketing, right? That's what I want to be known as, a great online ordering and engagement company. So that's what we wanted to consolidate. In terms of how did it come about, there's a Hemingway line which says, gradually then suddenly. That's how it happened. It happened gradually and then very suddenly. Me and a couple of people, we started just working together. Like, we should start a company, right? We said we should just start a company. We got a small office and we said we should start a company. We have no fucking idea what company is going to be, but we should start one, right? And we would come to this office and pretend to be a company. And then one day the problem that's right in front of our faces in my day job, we said, can we do that? Because that's like really problematic for us. I'm trying to figure it out at the time it was GoParrot and Level Up. I was using both of them, and I'm like, we have to figure this out. I hate working with them, And they said, yeah. They're like, you go get a contract and see if you can get people to give you a contract, and we'll go see who can build it in 30 days. So that's how we divided the project. I signed up Stickies, 16 handles, Bareburger, friends of mine. And I said, hey, do you guys want to sign? They're like, well, what is it? I'm like, it's this. They're like, sure. They signed, we built a 30-day MVP. We went live in 30 days. We had a company, day number 31. We had web ordering, very little at the time, but it was still enough to solve the problem. It was an MVP. So that was the origin story.
Wow, man.
So you said, the initial name was 30-day MVP then, and then that actually becomes Lunchbox?
Yes, we launched in 30 days. We were processing millions of dollars a week with a product we built in 30 days.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
Who's the engineer? Like, which of the founders is the technical person?
They're all technical. I'm the only one who looks technical, and I'm not technical. They all are technical, and some of them look technical. So my co-founder, Andrew, was the one who led that. He led product and engineering. He's still here. He's leading product here.
Nice. So have you been, there's 2 other founders, is there 3 total? Like
3 total founders.
3 total. You guys, so for us, like my best friend and I started this in our college dorm room, and like we still, to this day, we're still best friends,
But you want to kill him sometimes, right?
Oh, dude, absolutely. Like, absolutely.
To say the least.
Yeah. Once a week at least, I would say. So do you guys, like, is it a similar relationship with you and your other co-founders? Are you guys really good friends? Like, is it more of like just strictly business now?
It's not strictly business because company building is so emotional. It's so taxing. It is not strictly business. It had so many ups and downs and turns around the valley, but it was always heading this way, right? That's been our relationship. One of the things we've done well is we've always divided and conquered well. Andrew on the product side, Hadi on the sales side, me a little bit everywhere, but mostly leading externally, being the external face. So we played our role really well. There's almost no ego between the 3 of us, and that has made life easier. I think the top 3 reasons companies fail is timing, funding, co-founders, right? Those are the top 3 problems in some sort of that order. So we just all have incredible amount of pain we can take on, and that is like a very key skill to have for founders. So how much pain can you take on, and how long can you take it on, right? That is you don't have to be a rocket scientist. That is like one of the most key important skills, and we always back each other. But there's moments where we are not in sync. So we've set up systems to be in sync. We go out every week, and last night we went out and we smashed bottles.
Yeah,
if you go on my
I saw that
LinkedIn,
post.
you will see it. We broke a bunch of things. I imagine their faces on some of the bottles. I was smashing it extra hard, but that is besides the point. But it's work. It's like relationship. It's like founding relationship and investor relationship lasts as long as marriage, but we don't treat it as such. And we have coaching and counseling and let's talk and we're sorry and ups and downs and but there's a lot of trust and longevity in the relationships.
I have one more follow-up question.
Yeah, no, that's unbelievable.
So you said something there, investor relations. So also being, a fellow founder, fundraising, I've learned more over time, but, for us, we weren't a very cash, I say it. We didn't need a lot of capital to scale. So your experience with fundraising, great, terrible, annoying, like can you give your quick just elevator pitch about fundraising?
I I love fundraising because fundraising is sales, right? And you close 20 million for Series A, 50 million for Series B. That's fun. You feel great. It's like the rush is absolutely nuts, right? It's whale hunting. But on the other side is, are you good? Are you a good manager of the money? And in the last 3 years, fundraising has been easier. And a lot of companies that are not great got a lot of money. What happens when a lot of companies that are supposed to die get a lot of money is competition lasts longer. It just drags on a little bit longer. This is blood sport. Some companies are supposed to die. Some companies are supposed to win. And now we will really see who are the great companies and who are not. And we will really see who the ones that are exceptional are listening to their customers and can keep up with the ever-changing landscape and who is not going to. So that's the second half of it, or 90% of the fundraising part that I'm more excited by, watching every dollar. That's not something I was good at historically, but over the last 18 months, I've become really good at it. We've had to do some incredible things, incredibly hard things. And I just like that just as much. I think it was vain to just celebrate fundraising. Now what I'm celebrating is our SaaS margin, our burn, and how can we expand it, how we have renegotiated a contract. And those things might sound boring. They always did sound to me boring, but that is running a business, and so that's where I've had a mind shift change.
Absolutely. And our problem was, Ben, I remember this it was yesterday. We just couldn't, VCs, they're gonna give you money, you got to spend it, and we just couldn't figure out how to spend it at the time.
Yeah.
So that was our problem. That was a big reason why I couldn't fundraise to your guys' level. We're not a tech company, so if you're gonna get institutional money, you better spend it, man. You better have reasons to spend that money.
Yeah.
Because if not, it's a waste.
Yeah.
Listen. If you're not a tech company, if you're a salad company or a tech company. And if that's true, then you guys are definitely a tech company. I'm an AI company, and the AI company is something else. So we all are trying to fit in a shoe that's a little bit larger. And I'd give yourself, and I'm sure you do privately, but I'd give yourself way more credit than that, because you guys are in a very tough business, and I think what you guys have done is incredible.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
That's great. That's greatly appreciated. I do want to, we've kind of mentioned some core tenets of Lunchbox. One being arrive early and stay late. We have seen mention of another one, which is move fast and break rules, I believe is one of the tenets. Do you find that operating outside of a box that has kind of been posed around the restaurant industry and bringing outside ideas or outside the box thinking, is that kind of crucial to the forefront of what your business does as a whole?
I think absolutely, right. I think your job when you are on top is to stay on top, right? Google and Microsoft, right? They're trying to figure out how they can remain on top, right? These are oh, what a sad story. Bing is not used as much as Google. Boo fucking who?
Yeah, exactly.
They're both on
Like,
top,
they could have did. Yeah, exactly.
and they're trying to stay on top. We, as a smaller companies, we have to do everything we can to go ahead and be noticed, and that means we cannot operate under the same rules. And that is what they did when they were small as well. So this is just what smaller companies are supposed to do. And the smaller companies would pretend to be larger, and you have to pretend to be larger because you want the customers to think you're more polished than you are. I get that part, but I also think it's our responsibility to win. And startups are hard, and most of them fail. And even if you do all the right things, you still fail. So why not do everything you can and think outside the box and bring that mindset and bring what you learn from consumer marketing or from other SaaS businesses into restaurant, right? It's not like we're ahead of the curve in terms of other commerce businesses in travel or in retail. We're behind. It's not like there's a clear Shopify for the restaurant industry. So I very much think we're behind, and we need to go ahead and catch up. And one of the ways to catch up is be as loud as possible. But I think when we grow a little bit more, like for Lunchbox, I think we have to change then again, right? We have to, like, my job as a CEO changes every 3 to 6 months. So does the company's position. So we're still at those early phases.
Yeah, I think for me, obviously, and you mentioned very early on in the conversation, kind of the catalyst of why Lunchbox became what it is today, which was the complicated tech stacks. You have to rely on this company for that, this company for the other, and another company for the third. And over time, Lunchbox started as a kind of a online ordering. Now we've become order management. Now you have UX and UI, and also a marketing CRM product. So is the end goal and your guys' overall solution to become the all-in-one solution for these restaurants?
We don't want to be all in one. We want to be the 80% you need, right? Like the 80% you need, we can provide that. Like you don't need to get someone just for tableside ordering. That's ordering. We can do that. Or you don't need to get someone just for UI. I mean, the ordering site should look good. Why would it look ugly? Why do you want to add someone on top to make it look good? Like why wasn't it good looking to begin with? So I think we're trying to just provide table stakes, great ordering and engagement. That's what we want to do. The fact that that's fragmented doesn't mean that we are great. It means that it was wrong and correctly done, and we want to go ahead and right that wrong. But I don't want to go into delivery. I don't want to go into POS. I don't want to go into things that we cannot do because we barely can handle what we're doing right now. And what we're doing right now is great ordering and great engagement. So we're going to focus on that and go deep in that.
Is there one product or service that you guys offer right now that it's like the core part of Lunchbox that maybe like outside of online ordering that you see like being almost like the golden egg for you guys, or like the big value prop you can offer these restaurants?
I think a big value prop all restaurants are looking for is they want, honestly, what they want is the aggregator, the order aggregator, the engagement tool, and the ordering company to speak to each other. Those three components. We do that all three in-house. So when something goes wrong, you don't have to ping 3 companies, 3 CSMs, 3 engineers, 3 CEOs. You ping us. So I think that's the number one value proposition we're trying to provide restaurant. In terms of 3 of those, which is the one that is our wedge into this conversation? For us, it's the ordering component itself, right? So that's where we're trying to really go ahead and make a push. If you ask me, gun to my head, one product, and did not ask me a question like earlier about my sibling versus my parents, it would be our ordering system. I'm still judging you guys for that, by the way.
Hey, all judgment withheld.
He baited me.
Yeah,
he baited us,
did,
man.
I did.
We you just posted, I think pretty recently, like maybe either yesterday or a couple of days ago, you were kind of hoping to be the online ordering competitor directly to Olo and hoping to offer another solution to them. Do you see things that you guys are doing differently that they currently are doing or not doing, or how do you operate kind of the competitive nature of this business?
I mean, I'll start with this, which is they are a first mover in the space. They've been around for 20 years, and they have done incredible work. They have 70,000 restaurants or so. But that comes at a cost. That they have things they're not able to go ahead and service the restaurants of today. Right. That's my belief. My belief is they help 200 brands, and these brands are using them in a way that is not that is not conducive to being profitable. These brands that are using them have their own engineers that are working on top of Olo. right? That's how large these brands are. These brands are still getting, loyalty from another company, and still getting, let's say, UI from another company, and they're putting this together, and they're trying to basically do what few companies have done really, really well, which is Domino's, McDonald's, Taco Bell, those three, right? So that's what all these companies are trying to do. I want to bring that same tech for everyone. Everyone who has over 10 restaurants, your ICP will bring it that same tech, right? I want what McDonald's spent 300 million on, which is dynamic yield, to go and remap their menu so you can see weather-based menu. I have that. It comes free with our system. It'll show you if you open our Rava site, like Rava Persian Grill, open the site, shows you on top what the weather is and what menu item you should get based on that weather. Doesn't cost 300 million. I'll only charge a fraction of that. Thank you very much. So that's what we're trying to go ahead and bring to restaurants everywhere, right? Ordering is not enough anymore, and a fragmented Frankenstein version is not enough anymore, right? Consumers are looking for a real reason to not use DoorDash and Grubhub and Uber Eats. There's not a lot of great reasons. Those systems work. Your card is on it. You don't have to build multiple accounts. They are easy to use. Like, what reason is there for me to go to a restaurant site directly? We're trying to go ahead and create those reasons, create that loyalty and experience where people will say, yes, I actually love their app. I want to order directly. I want to support them.
I actually made this exact same argument on why, DoorDash is here, and they're still here because in Uber Eats and Grubhub, because they are solving a problem. They are making it easy to get food delivered from a multiple of channels. Like, I'm sorry, but when I've ordered directly from a restaurant, that's not using Lunchbox tech, by the way. All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, just shout that out right now. Okay, it's a big national chain. It's just the experience I have with them versus going through one of these delivery apps. It's night and day different. I know what I'm expecting from DoorDash or Uber Eats. I know what I like to expect. The food's not always going to be on time. It's not always going to be the hottest food, but it's the same consistent service to my at least to me, over and over and over again, where I can have I can expect something, right? I think that's a huge opportunity for you guys, is to, like you're saying, like, give people the alternative to order direct, but with the same experience.
Absolutely. And it's going to take time. Sometimes I have to explain to people, so whenever I make decisions based on this month or this quarter or this year, it's the wrong mistake. When you zoom out and make a decision over a decade-long lens, it's a different decision. Yeah, and what I do is I constantly look at how are we tracking to some of these great companies we want to emulate. Like Toast is a company we admire a whole lot. Toast, their year number 4, they had 1,000 restaurants, right? We had that in our year 1. So my point is, if you zoom in and look at today, everything is falling apart. The sky is falling. Let's go ahead and, sell it all, shut it all down. Let's quit. Exhausted. Everything is falling apart. But if you zoom out over a couple of years, it's a very different story. So that's true for making life decisions or company decisions. And in the long run, we are going to be a clear winner in the delivery, in the online ordering space, the off-premise space. And I'm just excited to be on a journey and be at the shitty part of it. I can't wait to be at the end of it where things are great and some other young kid is, chirping up, trying to go ahead and go after us. And I hope they win. But right now we're at the beginning of this beautiful journey, and we're enjoying every second of it.
You gotta love embrace the journey, man. Be like you're saying, starting a company it's constantly up and down. Like that's the nature of a startup. I mean, point blank, you're gonna have days. At least I know I still have these days, man, where it's like I don't want to do this anymore. It's hard. It's tough. You face so many different things every day, and you wear a lot of I was previously the CEO here. I have since stepped down in that role. I oversee the strategy now. But I mean, I admire what you, because it's a lot of weight to bear on your shoulder. I mean, you're the leader, man. You're responsible for the company's direction, everything. So the success and failure, it's on your shoulders. So I admire that.
Well, thank you. Do you want to be CEO here? Are you free?
Yeah, it's exactly. It's just like I don't think anybody wants to be the CEO. Like that's like a sociopath a little bit. Like you said, like you probably don't like it, right? There's probably days you hate it.
I think Friday night, if you call me between 6 and 7, I'll burn this entire place down. You call me the remaining 6.5 days, and I feel great, and we're gonna take this to the moon. So that's the founder's journey. It's fun, man. It's ups and downs.
Absolutely.
You had mentioned kind of finding your voice and getting reach and engagement out there, and something I want to bring up, which I really greatly admire about what you guys do as far as your brand, the culture you guys provide, and things of that nature. Like last year at the National Restaurant Association show, you guys were giving out tattoos on site. You had the branded hot sauce that you guys gave out, I think, later 2022. And then you came out, I want to make sure I get the name right. You came out with the game Death Chef, which is available on your guys' website, lunchbox.io, I believe is the website if you want to go play that real quick. So you guys are just finding other ways to incorporate Lunchbox as a cultural staple within the zeitgeist of the restaurant industry as well. What do you guys use to generate ideas like that? How do you feel about becoming something not necessarily just restaurant based like Lunchbox just is?
I am, I don't know who said this, like Johnny Depp or someone said this in an interview. Like I make a movie for the studio and then I make one for me. I make one for the studio, then one for me. I make a Pirates of the Caribbean, and then I go make one no one watches, the Secret Window or something. And I think like you have to go ahead and find a similar joy in building a business. If it is so hard, why are we doing it? I think I'm doing it, if we stop talking about the huge, massive problem we're solving for our customers. We're also having a lot of fun because we're restaurant operators. We're former restaurant people. We're tatted up, we all had a drinking problem in the past, and we all, just, love we all are misanthropes in many ways, and we are all trying to go ahead and find our natural flow. Charlie Munger has this sentence, find your natural drift. So our natural drift is to sometimes poke the bear, sometimes have fun, sometimes go ahead and incorporate the things we love. So we're not trying to do anything except we're just trying to have fun. Like we're just trying to have fun, and we hope people like it too. Like, oh, that'll be fun. Like that's how most ideas start here. That might be cool. And then our CEO says that's expensive, and I say, stop it. Talk to your boss, see if he approves it, which is me. It goes back to me, and I approve it. So my point is, we just have fun. We just have fun with it sometimes, and we try to do some things for the community and ourselves, and then we do one for the studio, if you will, right? So that's how we try to go ahead and have and build a culture here. I don't know if it's the right way, but you have to make this bearable.
Yeah. I think it was a pretty damn good answer.
Yeah, I mean, that was great. I love it.
I think we have time for maybe one or two more questions. I have a really one. So we're predominantly a catering delivery, as a service like solution, right? We're doing the white glove deliveries to skyscrapers, hospitals. We're all over the place. Really white labeling our driver like the white glove service to these restaurants. So we look like that we're a huge asset in the catering space to any restaurant that does or any ghost, just whatever, right? Hey, you want to brand your?
You guys have national coverage?
We're in all 50 states. I mean, we're at 8,000 zips. But what I'm getting at here is so catering for us is core, okay? And I just saw you guys launch a pretty kick-ass catering product.
Catering 2.0,
so
baby.
Obviously, if you're investing in that type of tech right now, you have to see the opportunity, right, of catering.
Huge. Every customer is asking for it. Every customer.
Yeah.
Every customer is asking for it, and they're also asking, who's going to do my damn delivery? So they're not like saying connected with X or connected with Uber Eats or DoorDash. They're literally begging us like, hey, who does large deliveries? So I did not know you guys were focused very much on catering. I thought you guys were doing, small orders and large orders, but everyone is asking us who is doing large order deliveries. So I think that I don't want to do a deal live on camera, but I think we should definitely talk.
It's a cue like the, what is it, that show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Who Wants to Do a Deal? It's
Who wants to do a deal?
Deal or no deal.
Deal or no deal. Yeah. No, we can take it offline, obviously, but no, we're, I would love to work together with you guys, but just talking about like the opportunity though of like catering, before the doors even open to your general public, you can pay for your entire overhead for the day. It's a branding opportunity. I mean, you can get in front of customers you haven't even served before. They can try your food. I mean, catering to me, it's an endless opportunity. So I think I love that you guys are now seeing that, or if you guys were before, but now you're building products. You're building products for that. I mean, restaurants need that. Like truly, they
Absolutely.
need it.
A lot of managers, their bonuses are determined on not a bunch of things, but one of them I see again and again is catering. How many catering orders have they secured for their restaurants? So a lot of GMs and managers and district managers are bonused based on catering, because catering is like like 2-3 catering order changes a week. 2-3 catering orders a week changes the entire scope of your business. Uh, there's only so many people who are going to come dine in with you. There's a big opportunity in delivery, but there's an even bigger opportunity in catering. And what COVID has done is prepared a lot of restaurants. Restaurants like I don't know if you've ever been to Cote here in New York. It's a one-off, or like they have one in Miami, they have one here. It's a fantastic place, super high-end steaks, but it's Korean barbecue, right? They during COVID prepared their menu and packaging in a way that was conducive to being catered, which made them one of the businesses that did not have to shut down. And they came out and said this. So a lot of businesses have prepped for catering because of the pandemic, and now as they're all opening, and now that everyone's working from home, people are doing more and more catering events, and it's making a huge comeback, and we're seeing a huge demand. We don't ever build anything because we think it's a good idea. That happens rarely. That happens during the marketing stuff that I mentioned, where we have fun with it. So when we build a product, it's because a lot of customers are asking for it. They all are asking for, how do we do large catering orders?
Man, because even like I think like when you think of catering, right? You probably think of like a party or an office engagement, or like a luncheon in somewhere.
Graduation
Yeah,
party.
but like I think you said it on LinkedIn the other day too. Like, what about meal prep? We've been doing that. Whenever we go to these conferences or go for a golf trip with my buddies, like we always get at least 1 or 2 large catering orders, and that's the food at the Airbnb, right there. Yeah. Like that stuff. That's just a different way to package catering, right? Hey, it could be meal prep. So
yeah, absolutely, 100%. I think definition of catering is not changing, but it's like one of the things we realized is that there's an online ordering site, and then there's a different company providing, like maybe Easy Cater or Monkey Media, providing a catering site. And where is the line? Is it $400 order? Right? What is the line between a large order to catering? So what we did is we built our catering system in a way where it's the same site, is the same page, and when you go over a threshold, it automatically recognizes it as a catering and large order, and it will technology is designed in a way where it will dispatch now deliver that instead of a $100 order delivery, if you will, right? So that's how we have prepped it. But there's a huge demand for it, and really excited to see how it plays out.
Are you able to reveal what that threshold is? What dollar amount that would be to you guys?
All vendors get to decide what they are. So for a coffee shop,
even better,
it'll be $100 if they want. But for like someone whose average check average is 50, that should be $400. So vendors, the restaurants get to decide what their threshold is, and now the user gets to decide also from day one if they want to see the small order or the catering orders. And a lot of people will go to the catering order just for meal prep, just for 5 people are coming over. I don't want to ask them what they want. Definitely not the vegan. She's annoying. Let me just go ahead and place an order or 2. And then third, I'm actually doing a catering order. Let me go ahead and get people to go ahead and pick from there. Because what happens with group ordering is it takes forever. It takes forever to place the order. So there's more reasons with why catering is a better choice than doing group ordering from a single site where everyone orders their own food. It's also cost effective to do catering. It's easier to feed a bunch of people than 10 people with 10 items.
Easier to make, easier in the restaurant, back of house. I mean, the fact that you guys have already thought about letting brands dictate what a catering is to them or not. I mean, yeah, because think about a steak joint versus a sandwich shop. It's just
different price.
You get 3 steaks, it's $100. You get 10 sandwiches, it's $50. It's like you know what I'm saying. So,
and for our catering system, we also are sending you a link so you can press on the link and edit the order, or you can add your card. So a catering like that doesn't have that. And for those orders, we also have maybe restaurants have their own catering person who wants to call in and say, hey, is this a wedding or is this a bar mitzvah? Because based on that, like we will prep things differently, right? So I think those are the technology we have built on our catering system, where people can actually edit the order and add the card and split it in different ways, and it doesn't happen all over the phone. You can send it to your accounting team. So those are the things we have taken into account as we built it up.
Love it, man.
Yeah, it's impressive. Obviously, we're going to be appreciative of anyone who decides to focus and help the catering business as a whole. So that's always a good thing to hear.
Catering, man, it's key.
Yeah,
So.
catering is key. Amazing. I got one. I want to close out too. I got one more question based around the AI kind of chat GPT stuff. I assume a ton of people in the industry have seen your guys' use of the AI picture generation for menu propositions and things like that to focus on, I guess, like boosting sales on things that are shown visually on menus. Is that what the basis of it was?
Yeah, the basis is if you're going to compete against yourself on Grubhub and DoorDash, you need to provide a much better experience. And how it looks matters. Like don't tell me how it looks doesn't matter. One of the most photogenic thing in the world is food. And like, imagine I was in the pharmaceutical business and I didn't add pictures. It makes sense. You're in the food business. Everything should have pictures. When there's pictures, there's like every data shows it's 3-4x more likely to be ordered. So some of these restaurants who are 10, 20, 30 units are not doing that, and we're encouraging them to do that. We're trying to sweet greenify, in terms of how deep you can go on all your products. So that was the intention for why we built it. We also built it because we do a lot of hackathons here, and we want our team to constantly push the boundaries. Again, if you zoom in, we're solving today's problem, and and that is great. But we need to keep an eye on the future as well. And so that's our way of tapping into the future. What's going to come next is we're going to have AI menu where the menu is reordered for everyone, redesigned and reorganized for everyone based on location, based on what you like, based on your diet, based on your weather. And what I really want to do is I want to mess with the pricing.
Yeah.
That's what I really want to do. I want to mess with the pricing based on Tuesday night. I really want to get some stuff out on Tuesday night. No one is ordering from me. Versus Friday night, I'm busy. I might increase the prices a little bit.
For sure.
Right. So that's where I want to go next with it. So that was our way of saying, can we take baby steps before we take a big bite?
Yeah, Aaron was mentioned. We talked. I'm sure you were at Carl Orsborn. He's in Ashwin. They have that company called Juicer. They're doing some dynamic pricing action. So maybe reach out to them, see what they think about that. But I'm
He's a good guy.
I think all those ideas are only beneficial to the customer and restaurant experience.
Being able to know what to show each individual customer based on their
Previous order history.
I mean, that is just make it easy for them to do business with. Make it easy for them to order. Make it very easy. I love it, man.
You would do it if you were a regular. If I had a bar and you were a regular, I would make sure I got you Ben, I'll get you something on the house. What happened? What happened to that experience digitally? It's gone. Right? What do we do? This is what we do. We do, oh, you spend $100, here's $10. Hey, you spend $100, $10 for you.
Here's a free bag of chips.
That is not loyalty. That is lazy engineering. And all of us in online ordering, including myself, we've built lazier tech. This is easier. We don't want to go ahead and break the status quo. At Lunchbox, we are trying to push that again and again. We have subscription loyalty, we have bank loyalty. Now I want to push that even more so with, let me show you what you want to see. Let me treat you like I actually know you and I give a shit about you. If I don't show that, you're going to go on Grubhub, and I don't want you to go on Grubhub. I want you to be my customer. On Grubhub, you're Grubhub's customer. As you can tell, I don't like Grubhub.
Yeah,
I couldn't tell, man.
Yeah, I had a question about Grubhub, but we went over it. So but it's very apparent. I do usually want to just close things out. Obviously, you're super geared toward restaurants and things of that nature. So where could possible clientele who want to utilize your guys' services, things like that, where can they find you? How do they go about partnering with you? Where can they reach out?
I think go to two places. Go to lunchbox.io. I spend way too much money on it, so go there, make it count. And then second is email me if you need anything, Nabeel@lunchbox.io. So that's it. Those are the two places.
Perfect. All right, man.
Yeah. If anyone wants my Snapchat, you can't have it. That is for myself only.
No Snapchat, everyone.
Yeah, stories of your dogs all the time, I imagine.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. All right, Nabeel. Yeah, man. Well, we appreciate, man. I really do appreciate you taking the time to come on here, chat with us, introduce yourself to DeliveringMore audience and the restaurant industry out there as a whole. So thank you so much.
Yeah, hey, let's collaborate a little bit too. Let's find a way to work together.
Let's do it. Let's chat today, tomorrow, whenever you want.
Cool.
But let's talk. We really, I'm serious about the large order stuff. We're looking for someone.
Man. I'll shoot you a LinkedIn. All right.
Perfect.
Awesome.
All right, guys.
See you guys.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.
We'll see you.
Bye.
Thank you.